And good morning. This is Things You Might Not Have Heard, and I'm Jay Cleveland Payne, and boy, do I have news for you for this Monday morning on the 9th of September. We've got 10 stories in a queue from the past weekend, and I will tell you right now, some of these stories aren't the most interesting, aren't the most important, because we had a whole lot of stories to get to, but we have a big mix of stories that you may have missed, that because of that, make sure you get some into this one. We had a whole lot of football, the first week of NFL football, second week of college football, and we only have two technically stories dealing with it, and it's not the one with Dak Prescott getting paid or Tyreek Hill getting arrested, which is ironic, but we're going to explain why that's there. Plus, other stories in the queue, plus some fun stuff to include birthday wishes for Mr. Adam Sandler today, and more. We'll talk about that and more. We'll explain how the vetting process, how the stories we chose got chosen, and how we got to things going forward. But we'll remind you that right now, or when we're done with the show at least, you can always stop by our website. This is theconversationproject.com for details on how we do our best to provide you great information and things we do. Plus, you can email us with your comments, concerns, and complaints. Send what you want to the email address, theconversationinbox@gmail.com. We read them all. We take them all in, even if you're not a partner, but we'll explain that as a bit as well. As we said, today happens to be Monday, September the 9th, 2024. These are new stories, 10 of them that you deemed as conversational, good enough to talk about. We'll explain some context along the way, not necessarily in the order that they were conversational. We'll explain the context along the way. And we'll explain them with what is kind of the most important thing going forward right now, even though the real test will be tomorrow on Tuesday. Right now, we have news from headline number one. And that headline came out Friday, Saturday-ish, about they're talking about it now because it makes a difference. Harris, Trump deadlocked in New York Times poll. A new poll has Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump in a dead heat with their upcoming election in popularity and ability to win. Essentially, it's like Harris 48, Trump 47 or something like that. Within a margin of error, that basically means they are tied, and it's what we're looking forward to. And we're also looking forward to their first, probably only debate we'll have coming up next or in 2 days, tomorrow, Tuesday, and we'll see what happens in the hilarity that will ensue in this debate. Now, they're sticking to the terms that Biden had with Trump earlier on. They tried to change some things. They tried to get an extra debate. Trump tried to throw out 3 dates. It's like, hey, we're going to do this here. We're going to go in a parking lot in Poughkeepsie. No one really, went for that one. But they are going to keep the mics muted, such as Biden wanted, although Kamala Harris wanted to kind of hear Trump mumble in the background so she can kind of do the I'm speaking, Mr. President kind of moment. All they're doing is playing up that moment she had with Mike Pence, so that hopefully they can get more run on that one. Of course, we all talked about how the last time Donald Trump debated a woman for president, he was really creepy and rude. And despite being creepy and rude, enough people hated that other person to vote for him anyway. And now we have what we have. We'll see what's going to happen, whether Kamala can gain some votes, gain some supporters, gain some love, or whether, as we're seeing right now, her sort of love momentum is cooling, and now they're basically in a dead heat. What will we see as we're less than 60 days to the actual election and figuring out who will be the next leader of the free world, minus any shenanigans like January 6th again. Oh, by the way, headline number 2, government shutdown looms as Congress faces funding fight. A potential government shutdown is in the works. It's in the wings. It's back there, looming as Congress struggles to agree on funding the government, which it does often. The dispute involves various budgetary issues, and without a resolution, the government could be out of money, blah, 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 blah. Deals not reached soon. Federal operations could be disrupted. Millions of government workers on furlough, yada, yada, blah, 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 blah. So we've seen this movie before way too many times. This is like Police Academy. The Police Academy has billions and millions and millions of sequels, and they're all the same, and it ended with Michael Winslow doing the sound effects until they get rid of Steve Gutenberg. That's when it basically fell apart. Unfortunately, the Steve Gutenberg of this band was, I guess, Kevin McCarthy, and Mike Johnson, who's actually doing a fairly good job of keeping things together and still being kind of a creepy guy, is going to be the person to blame for this one. That's what we used him for, the teaser story, because it's the House that usually shuts down government. The government shutdown target date, I believe, is September 28th. It's not here in the write-up for the news here, but I believe it's the 28th of September. So that's why it's a soon thing. And so we could see a shutdown literally 5-6 weeks before the actual election, which could be blamed on either side. Shutdowns are usually blamed on by the party head in Congress, and that's usually Republicans, because Democrats, you rarely do shutdowns of the government, believe it or not. but they shut it down when there's usually a Democratic president. So Biden/Harris could get the blame. This one will play out. We shall see. And speaking of big grabs for money, let's go to story number 3. Headline for this story reads, DirecTV tells customers it's hiking prices next month, coming amid blackout of ESPN, ABC, and other Disney nets. DirecTV has been in a spat for the past couple of weeks because they've gone dark on the Disney stuff, ABC, ESPN, other networks that are owned by the Disney network. And the big issue right now is right in time for football season, you can't get ABC and ESPN on DirecTV. DirecTV last year touted they were the actual home of Sunday Ticket when they owned it. Now it's owned by YouTube TV, so they actually own it, and they also touted they still had it when they don't. So your big football packages don't exist on DirecTV. They're also touting the fact that you don't need a satellite anymore, which is pretty much redundant at this point anyway. But its customers are being told prices are going up. So essentially, DirecTV is going to cave and pay Disney extra money for the ABC stuff because they need to, which means they extend the price onto you. This is how tariffs work. A price goes up by another company. They raise the prices for you. That's how tariffs work. Donald Trump, that's actually how tariffs work. When tariff attacks on something else means the price goes to the consumer and they pay more for it. This is what happens here. If you're a DirecTV fan or just stuck with it, then hang tight. Although your prices are going up next month, you should get your prices and should get all your channels back fairly soon because it's basically all comes down to cash. Story number 4 this morning. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It's very melodic. It's a show name for a show that's out there. And the cast is out there reacting to the wild backlash to the show's trailer and title because it's the secret lives of Mormon wives. So the cast is out there saying, you know what? This is actually wholesome. It's actually good in response to the fact that this is a wild thing they're doing. Now, reality shows and, sister wives and all that stuff like that, nothing new to the landscape of what we have to see these days and what we take in. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you can not watch them. You can complain about them, I guess, but you can also not watch them. We're going to see what's going to come up and how many people are now going to watch these things because of the wild accusations coming from the trailer and the name of the show. How wild will these Mormon wives be? How secret will the secrets be told? Don't know. Personally, don't care. But this was a very, very engaging story for you guys this week. And we're just talking about this one. Will the secret lives of the Mormon wives be something akin to a new level of housewife type stuff? Essentially, it's a housewife show. It's camera following around people. And if you can see in the picture here, these don't look like normal Mormon wives. These aren't people dressed up like trad wives, taking care of kids and taking care of lots of kids because Mormons can have multiple wives. So we're going to see if they're going to just throw tables and flip tables and throw glasses of water. I guess they can't drink, so they can't splash wine on each other. It's going to be interesting. They don't drink coffee. I had a Mormon friend I worked with in a radio ways back, morning radio, early morning stuff. No nuts. I think he was allergic to nuts and couldn't drink coffee because the stimulant was what you can do as a Mormon. Maybe they're drinking coffee. It's the secret lives of Mormon wives. If that didn't get you your ick factor up, let's go with this one. This one's a shout out to my friend Marla, who I posted it out there for more folks to see, and she basically replied with some stuff like the fact that she knew this. How'd she know this? Because she's allergic to this dye and can't eat anything with it. There's a dye in Doritos used in experiments that, like a magic trick, creates see-through mice. It's actually a dye, yellow number 5. That's really what it is. The yellow number 5 you see in everything out there is a dye used in Doritos to make the Doritos more Dorito-ish. It's also used in lab tricks, the animals, to see what's going on. So they tested on animals to make sure that it doesn't kill them. But what they found when they used it on mice was it made them see-through, made them a bit transparent. You can see through their skin and see their bones and stuff. Pretty interesting, pretty icky. Can we see through your bones? No. But the dye in Doritos, a dye used in many packaged foods and many things that are really bad for you, may actually be really bad for you. Spoiler alert, Doritos, chips, and artificial sweeteners and things could kill you. Just in case you didn't know. Quick break from the news, slight break from the news, and let you enjoy us for a second. We want to remind you, we would like you to like, subscribe, and share our products. Like the video, like the audio, like what you're reading, although you wouldn't hear my voice doing that. Make sure you're showing folks that you like the things. Social proof helps other people see that we're fairly good content. Share it with other people as even more social proof because we're good stuff. Share our clips, share our long form, share our newsletter, specifically share our newsletter. And subscribe whatever place works best for you. Subscribe to the newsletter so you always get our content to you. Subscribe to this video on YouTube. Subscribe to it on Facebook and X. Subscribe to our trends feed. It's not much of a feed, but it's there. Subscribe so you get our information as we give it to you literally 24 hours a day. We only do videos once or twice a day, but we give you news and notes and stories all day long. We'll explain that in a bit when we get to the promo section for you to help us pick and choose the new stories. You subscribe to various feeds, various places, and you can help us pick those stories. You help pick this story as well. We had some last minute shifting of stories. This one almost didn't make it in there, but we're glad it's here. We put it past the 10-minute mark so we wouldn't get some, trying to backing off some of the E ratings here or there. But the headline for story number 6 this morning, mother of Georgia shooting suspect says she called school before attack, report says. This is a story that's not going away, but it's dying down in some of the fervor that it would have because it happened, late last week. We're getting more details on it. Both of the men involved, the boy who shot the children and the husband who bought him the gun, are in custody right now, waiting what's going on. But the mother of the suspect actually called the school, like right before the attack, saying she was concerned about her son's mental health. Something was off with them. Unfortunately, the attack happened anyway, which is the real sad issue with this. There's also an article out there that said his grandmother visited the school like last week or so, visited before to talk to some teachers and things going on. So there could have been, should have been, may have been in the works, some interventions, what's going on. We don't really have a good resolution because we know what the fallout from what's happening. Thoughts, prayers, positive thoughts, all the love we can send out to the families of the victims in this and the victims all around that were actually at the school to deal with the issue. But this is a tough one to really get through, a tough one to really talk about. So we're just going to have to let this one be until we get more actual updated information on this stuff. Something to actually move the story. You guys were moved enough for this one to make it into the range. We'll explain that in a moment. But like I said, there were some other stories, some other shenanigans that we had that for some reason last minute, let's say I came to my senses and decided this story was one to have. This bit of shenanigans, I did not come to my senses for because I have to say it's not me. It literally is not me. Headline from USA Today. So blame them. Simone Biles' husband comes up big in first game with Bears. Simone Biles was a proud wife watching her husband, Jonathan Owens, score his first touchdown since joining the Chicago Bears. The first one that counts because preseason was last week. On Sunday the 8th, that was yesterday, the safety recovered a football during a block punt and sprinted towards the end zone, scoring a touchdown during the team's game against the Tennessee Titans. Yay for Jonathan Owens. Yay for him. Good football player. I'm not the one calling him Simone Biles' husband, the football player. It's not me. It's the media. Oh, by the way, we're not talking about Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott getting paid big time by Jerry Jones right before the game. And, of course, right before the game, Tyreek Hill from the Miami Dolphins getting arrested outside his own stadium, put on the ground, and then showing up, scoring a touchdown, and for his end zone celebration, pretending to be arrested again. Obviously, some officers will be questioned. Apparently, this is the biggest thing going on right now. It's sports figures being arrested before they go to work. Happens in golf, happens in football. We'll see where it happens next. We're not quite done with football, though. Not quite done. Announced yesterday, rap megastar Kendrick Lamar will headline 2025 Super Bowl halftime show. Now, the video release was kind of anticlimactic. It's Lamar sitting behind a football throwing machine, like, I'm Kendrick Lamar. I'm doing a halftime show. Y'all come out and see me on the social media. So it wasn't all that exciting. But guess what? The people went ape blank for this one. They went nuts. Lamar will host the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show in Nolens at the, I think it's one of these casinos, the Caesars Sportsbook, Caesars Casino of Superdome. That's whose name they're there. Of course, Apple Music Rock Nation announced this on Sunday, and this will be a great time for all at Caesars Superdome. The Super Bowl is February the 9th. Don't miss it because you'll maybe one of the few people who does. sticking with music here, we're going to Linkin Park, and Linkin Park is reforming with Emily Armstrong, their new head singer, the new lead singer for the rock band, since the death of Chester Benningfield. And they also have a new album and new stuff coming out there. Now, I'm sorry, I got distracted for a second. So this is something that actually Armstrong actually had to do some mea culpas early this week because some people aren't quite happy with it. Switching up from a male to a female artist to be the head singer of the band is an interesting pick. Although she's extremely talented, her actual band, Dead Sara, is a pretty well-renowned band in circles, so you can see her work, her body of work, if you will, and see some things going forward, including their new single coming up, new album and single that's out there. This is a big deal. I am a huge fan of Linkin Park, and one of the people that, as a fan, devastated by Chester Benningfield, of course, dying by suicide, and Suicide Prevention Month is this month. We'll have a lot more chat about that going forward. So this is something that actually, hits a little bit different for me. Glad to see the band back together. Know they will have a very different sound and see what they're going to put out going forward in the music sphere. Very sad news for Angel Reese. Wrapping up our 10th story for the day, wrapping up our news for this morning. Angel Reese has to go on her resume, on her background so far for the rest of the season because she is out with a season-ending injury as she was basically in contention. Her and Caitlin Clark as the ones and twos respectively. There's other rookies, so they suit up. They're in contention, but Angel Reese essentially between her and Clark now out of the game, which is, I guess, kind of a toss-up for Chicago Sky because they're not really doing so great. I guess still have a chance, but not doing so great in the actual standings. Angel Reese was putting on a show, breaking records as a rookie, breaking records as a player going forward. Right now, it's essentially Caitlin Clark's to lose as the run for Rookie of the Year, although Clark actually has some vibes of MVP, which probably won't happen. They'll get that somebody more senior, but we'll see what's going on. We'll see how Reese goes. Reese, who showed up playing the villain in college a lot, and then getting out of college, seemingly maturing, or maybe just not dealing with the college BS going forward. Maybe it was her crazy coach going forward, and just showing poise, showing great skill, and bringing the women's game to everyone out there, elevating that game, elevating the stature of it to the world. So congratulations on the good run. Sorry it's over so soon. You are still in the running for Rookie of the Year. We'll see who gets that championship at the end of their season. We're going to pause again from the news, but tell you about how the news gets here. We gave you 10 news stories, and those news stories were from news articles we posted on our feeds from Friday to early this morning. Early this morning to get much love, but you get the gist. Basically 4 days from the weekend, and for the 4 days a week, or for 3 days in a corner. For those 3 days, we pulled from the top stories, about 30 stories from the top, because we get about 30 stories in a day, so that's 10-ish stories within the gathering. That's it, Thursday? Yeah, 30 stories from the top, 30 in a day, 90 in a weekend, so basically 10-ish a day to look at, to choose from, to give you 10 stories here. And that's how we got there. There was some shuffling last minute, and sometimes game time decisions with stories put in there. Something that looks so great, or the robot editor doesn't give a really good review of it, or it just doesn't feel right after the first glance going forward. Those were 10 stories presented there. And you chose those stories. You put them in the ranking order by going to our feeds. That's what we call our links on Facebook, X, and Threads. Go to facebook.com/thisisconversation project, x.com/thconversation, and threads threads.net/@this is a conversation. That's what we are. Threads is scoring on us and not giving us much, but we love it anyway. What you do is every 50 minutes or so, we post a news article from various sources, and you just engage in it. You click the like button, you read it, you share it with folks. The more engagement you get, the higher score it gets for total engagement, the better chance you have of talking about it going forward. Here's one that probably won't get much engagement scores, but it's an interesting one that I want to get some love to here or hype it up going forward. Study of older patients suggests that 1 in 5 cases of dementia may be attributed to visual impairment. People with bad eyes may have a more a slighter chance of developing dementia symptoms. The teaser story we had for Friday, which was close, it was there, but it really didn't get the main contention from the first couple looks. Red Lobster cleared to exit Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, as I said when we teased this on Friday, our Red Lobster in Little Rock is closed. It already is. It's done. But essentially, they sold off enough or closed enough, and they're dealing with the real estate. They're going to try to sell it off or lease it to other people. And when they do that, they'll be fine. So in the moment, Chapter 11 bankruptcy is going to be paused or released from it because apparently Red Lobster is working that. That's all you get from that story. Do you want more on the story on dementia and visual impairment? You have to vote it up. Go to our feeds anytime you check your other stuff and just see what we're talking about. Engage in those stories, and we'll chat them up come, in this case, tomorrow. 8 stories tomorrow because we have only 30 or so in a day. So we'll take the top 15, top half of the stories from tomorrow and pull 8 of those for the show for tomorrow. Talk about our sponsor. And this week we're putting some love into somebody's pocket. Now, and let me remind you, these are all affiliate link sponsors. These are affiliates that if you buy from them, they give us a commission. So that is to make sure that's known. We want you to check out Sports Integrity because sports season is here and you want to get more memorabilia on your wall. I have nothing on my wall behind me, no treatment, no nothing, which I need to work on as well. But I'm going to put up some stuff and we're going to see if we're going to get some nice, fun sports stuff. I'm a big sports fan. I'm not a big collector, but I have a couple things that are kind of in the closet. Like literally I can see it in my closet here. Balls and things like that don't really fit on the walls as so well. So we're going to see about we're going to display those in the cool office and going forward. And maybe I pick up a couple more things as well. Sports Integrity is a great source for entertainment memorabilia that is authenticity that is 100% guaranteed. I just came back from Comic-Con here in Little Rock, and they had plenty of folks out there who were authenticating some of the wares for people because they want to make sure that they bought stuff off the vendors or they brought stuff into trade with vendors. It was kosher. It was good. And that's a real big deal. Knowing that the thing you bought, that baseball card is real, that jersey, that sign was actually signed is important because you want to make sure you're not getting cheated. They do not just sports stuff, entertainment things, movie pictures, TV things, all sorts of things as well. So if you want to get memorabilia from all sorts, all wares, check out Sports Integrity. It's my birthday, so if you want to get me something for my birthday, here's some place you might want to look. But, figure out the teams and the artists first. Because anyway, Sports Integrity can be found via our website, our affiliate link by going to thisistheconversationproject.com/sportsintegrity. This is theconversationproject.com/sportsintegrity. This, once again, is an affiliate link. So once you know that if you buy from them, we get a small commission. It costs you nothing extra to purchase from them, but they are not a fully paid sponsor. It's a commission back from the purchase. So just so you know, we get paid from here. When you pay them, they take care of you. They take care of us. We want to think we take pretty good care of you at the Conversation Project. So we want to thank you so much for being part of the family and being a part of the show, literally by going to the feeds and giving us the topics to talk about, because you do that by conversating with me via email, the conversation inbox at gmail.com. And of course, in the chats, in the comments of the videos and the audio things as well. Want to give you the option of one, seeing more of our affiliate sponsors by going to the sponsors page at our website and maybe becoming a partner with us as well. Partnership has its privileges. If you watched yesterday on the YouTube channel, it wasn't the most dynamic one because it was kind of tired and it was kind of a, feeling bad, ranty thing. But I did release for the world to see what I produce for every week, our partners, as they see insides of what's going on. Like I said, not the best really show going on. It wasn't really the best do, but, it just sort of happened. We may do another one again next week as we're kind of leading up to whatever. But that was about saying, hey, we need some help. We need viability. Things are not looking great. And it is the truth. If you want more details on that and more insight completely, you can be a partner and you'll know what's going on directly. If you just want to ask a question, email us at theconversationproject@gmail.com. Go to the website and see what partnerships you can join there as well. I want to take a moment right now before we get too late to talk about, because September is Suicide Prevention Month. We want to make sure that you get this information right now. That is the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It is 988. You can call it or text it on your cell phone anytime you are there. I'm sure it works on real phones as well. If you have a real phone, I'm sure it works. You can visit 988lifeline.org for information online, and for 24 hours a day, There's someone there to talk to you in English or in Spanish to get you through the things that sometimes need getting through. And trust me, I have been there many times, so I understand where you're coming from. Right now, we got the business done. We got some public service done, and we gave you the news stories to get your week started. And hopefully you think they're the greatest ones. If not, email us and complain there. Right now, things you might ought to know for this Monday, September 9th, 2024. And what we have for things you might ought to know are starting off with birthdays. We always start with birthdays. And the funnest things of the birthdays, and a funny fun guy with a birthday, is Adam Sandler, who is turning 58 on this day. Also celebrating on this 9th of September, Hugh Grant, 64, and Michael Bublé, Mr. Bubble, is 49 years old on this September the 9th. Our history lesson for today, let's go to 1956. Elvis references are not really so much in the demo because the demo is basically at the top end of 50 or mid-range of 50, and those aren't the real Elvis fans, but Elvis is still with us in many ways. And so we're going on with this one first. In 56, Elvis Presley made his first of 3 appearances on the Ed Sullivan Show. If you're around in 56, see that one, and you're watching this, God bless you. We need more of you. So share this one with your friends. In 71, the famous Attica prison riot happened at the maximum security Attica Correctional Facility near Buffalo, New York. A 4-day siege beginning on today, 43 people killed in this incident. And, more benign news. Apple announced the Apple Watch today in 2014. 10th birthday of Apple Watch. Happy birthday, Magic Watch. On the level of your words to learn, your word today, today we're going through hackneyed. Hackneyed, which is repeated too often, overfamiliar, through overuse. With use in a phrase, use in a sentence, the phrase thinking outside the box has become so hackneyed that it elicits more eye rolls than actual creative thinking. And that is a true statement, although hackneyed is not so much a really overused word. So I don't believe this one will be overfamiliar. So when you use the word hackneyed, you may have to explain it today, but you can explain it and say it in the sentence, all the sentences you want to today. We implore you to use the word hackneyed on your path today. More big words, thebigwordsproject.com, and of course, Big Words You Ought to Know, the books that we have, the vocabulary words, find it at our website, thebigwordsproject.com. Sorry for all the bumps today. We have in our daily affirmation for this September 9th, a simple one. My potential to succeed is limitless. This affirmation enhances self-belief and affirms that your potential to succeed is indeed limitless and reinforces a strong sense of self-belief, combating negative thoughts and self-doubt and leading to improved self-confidence. More on your world of affirmations from me if you want to. I have a book on this, 100 Daily Affirmations for Positivity and Confidence. Search 100 Affirmations Pain or click the link inside of this presentation to find it on Amazon. $10 in paper and $5 on your electronic Kindle reading device. For most people, it's phones, but if you have a real Kindle, it's a nice little read. And finally, we're not celebrating the restaurant. We're celebrating actual Wiener Schnitzel. Wiener Schnitzel Day is today, September the 9th. We celebrate the traditional Austrian dish, and it's a great, lovely stuff. I've not had a good Wiener Schnitzel literally since we left Germany because it's a European dish. Breaded recipe made with veal. There's a law in Austria that says the dish must be made with veal. Now, in Germany, often they make it with pork, but in Austria, where it's from, chefs make Wiener Schnitzel by tenderizing a thin slice of veal and then lightly salting and breading it and then deep frying it in clarified butter, and it is delicious. There's also Jaeger Schnitzel, which is the non-breaded version, but Wiener Schnitzel is, oddly enough, as a teenager living in then West Germany, because it was way back when, one of the good things about being in Germany, because you're away from rap music and rock and roll and the world and things like that, the food was awesome. The candy was awesome. And Wiener Schnitzel is something you can't really find unless you go to kind of a real distinct German or Austrian Brauhaus. That's what they call it, beer house. That gives you something like this. It's great. I'm not sure where Wiener Schnitzel's coming today. We're not going to the hot dog place. That's not happening. If you can't get a Wiener Schnitzel, hug a teddy bear because it's also Teddy Bear Day. Celebrate that one. That's simple. Go to Build-A-Bear and spend extra money on something you don't need. They'd love that one as well. wrapped up for the day with things you ought to know and things you might not have heard for this Monday, September the 9th, 2024. Thank you so much for being with us for this day. We're glad to have you around with us. Consider being a partner. Consider checking out our affiliate sponsors. Considering just going through the website and going through and seeing some of our oldies and goodies and learning more about us. We did some updates on the pages, so the story behind the Conversation Project is a little bit more detailed, a little bit more modernized, if you will. So check it out at our website. This is theconversationproject.com. Also links to all the places we can be seen. All the places you can share us, like us, and subscribe are there as well. Remember that life is great even when life doesn't seem all that great. So keep that in the back of your mind. Consider going to our YouTube page and watching the video. I'm looking over here because the title's over here because, distracted. For Weekly Partners Check-In for this last week and see kind of what you get as a partner. It probably won't sell you for being a partner. However, it'll give you ideas of what we're doing in the background, and maybe someday you'll do that or give more in a way of comments and feedback to do things and share with more folks. In the meantime, I love each and every one of you. Mean it so much. We will talk to you guys in the format where I'm speaking to you in a microphone and just assuming that you're hearing me because it works that way. Tomorrow for Tuesday, 8 stories will be set up for tomorrow. We'll put them in the queue. You go to our feeds on Facebook and X and also on Threads. Why not? Let us know what stories are good to talk about. We'll pick what we think are the better ones.